Today we're going to be playing Stillwater. This is another visual novel from itch.io, and this one seems to be a little bit shorter than the other games that I've played, maybe an hour to two. Let me go ahead and read the. Hold on one second. Let me read this. The synopsis of the story is: a woman arrives with a mysterious letter in hand addressed to her grandfather. Etched in crimson is a foreboding message, a warning, a promise, made from a time forgotten. Private investigator Hugo Laurent and his assistants must solve this bizarre case before an old family's curse befalls them all. That sounds pretty good to me. Okay, I'll bring the game back up. Sounds pretty good to me. It sounds a lot less dating sim and a lot more spooky thriller. You know what I mean? All right. Also, the reviews were absolutely glowing for this. A lot of people said, like, oh, I played this 5 times. So I'm hoping it'll be really good. All right, let's get it going then. Oh. Oh, Mambo, thank you for the subscription. How is your day going? How's your week going? Hi, Seethan, welcome. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I want the text to be faster. I don't like when it's super slow because I feel like I have to read slower. Oh, is there going to be voice acting? Okay. Let's start. You had to get that glorious first badge. This is a work of fiction. The resemblance to any real-life people is purely coincidental. This game contains depiction of horror, mature themes, violence, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm sure it's not that bad. Caretaker. I got an achievement apparently. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here anymore, Nina. I feel like I'm going crazy. Calm down. If we can just talk it out. So many strange things keep happening, one after another. Every day there is this damn dripping sound. I thought it was just something leaking at first, but I check every faucet, every ceiling, everything, and still I hear it everywhere, constantly echoing in my ears. Please, listen to me. Oh, but the water, that damn water. Water? Yes, it's everywhere. Pools of it are all over the house, and every time I try to mop it up, another will appear. There's no end to it. But it's at night. It's at night when it comes. What are you talking about? I hear someone, or something, walking along the hallways at night. Maybe it's just my grandfather. No, Nina, it's not him. I thought it was, but it's not. But I've seen it. That thing. I only glimpsed at it once, but I'm more than certain that thing was not your grandfather. Ever since that night, I would lock my door and pray it would walk past my room. I don't know what's going on, but I swear it just keeps walking, always walking on pools of water. Sometimes I hear them randomly. Their steps are erratic and faint, but I can still hear them. Just this steady pace up and down the halls. But I think recently it's no longer like that. What do you mean? Every morning I follow to see where the wet footprints lead. It walks towards something more clearly than before. It would walk down the halls, climb the stairs, and turn the corners. All of it I'd follow. Eventually, the trail would come to a stop. And it would all stop right by your grandfather's room. His room? If this is some sick joke to scare me away, then please stop. It's not a joke, Nina. I meant when I said that there was something wicked going on in this house. That can't be true. I know this is a lot, but you have to believe me. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sorry, Nina. It's okay. I understand. Thank you for taking care of my grandfather up until now, and I'm sorry for all the stress I've caused you. I'll be sure to pay you right away as soon as I... Nina, listen to me. I don't know what's happening around here, but... The woman on the phone cautiously looks around, turning her head constantly back and forth, looking over her shoulder to find, if any, others listening in. She grips the phone so close to her ear in a vice-like grip, before speaking again in a hushed tone. Something terrible is leaking in this house. I don't know what it is, but please, as soon as you get back, take your grandfather and just leave this place. Leave? I can't just leave everything behind. We have nowhere else to go. Please, Nina, this place is not safe. The rumors, they're true. The curse is real. My family is not cursed. But, Nina, at this rate, you and your family will... Enough. A pause. Cold and sharp tenseness strains the call as both women, exhausted and stressed beyond their comfort, try to stifle their growing frustrations towards one another, neither yielding to the other's thoughts, only leaving anger and hurt to fester through the silence. After what feels like a suffocating stillness, Nina finally sighs heavily and responds bluntly to the caretaker. Look, I don't know what you heard or saw, but I can't just leave things like this. Whoever or whatever they are, they will answer to me. I won't let them have their way. I don't have time wasting my energy on this stupid curse. So, if you can't help me, then so be it. I'll find a way. Nina, my grandfather is all I have left. He's all I have left. Oh. That must be the grandfather. And, Satan. This is a Scooby-Doo mystery. It really is. Oh, what'd you say? At work, but making a simple website today. Oh, I hope you enjoyed doing it. Making websites can be really fun. It's like watching it come together and like as you add things, readjusting everything. I really like doing that. Diner, 7 a.m. Amid a foggy morning, there sits a man by the corner of a booth. He drinks black coffee and, depending on his mood, occasionally orders a donut. And today, it was just black coffee. Here's main character. Ugh. I swear, I've never seen that amount of paperwork in my life. A freaking mountain worth of it. You're a valuable member of our team, Hugo. My foot. I'm starting to believe that I was bamboozled into joining this agency. I love starting and keeping it simple. Me too. I appreciate when a website has a lot going on, but I also appreciate a nice, very streamlined, very simple, to the point. You know what I mean? That's all you get. This guy kind of, something about him reminds me of Spike Spiegel from, is that his name? Yeah, Spike from Cowboy Bebop. Something about him. Just maybe his demeanor. Hugo Laurent, age 30, takes a good look at his cup of joe and chugs it all in one sitting. He chugged black coffee? I hope to bring back more 2000-style websites, but hopefully with still simple code. Show me when you're done. He then continues to grumble to himself about last night's grueling work at the office. No, I don't drink. I don't drink coffee. Actually, I really need to find a different job. As he contemplates his poor life choices, he looks out towards the early mist. I don't like to chug hot things. I like to sip. There was something inherently terrifying about the fog to him, how it engulfs everything and nothing. Even if it disappears, it always leaves behind traces, proof of it remaining. Even in a quaint little town like this, I can't even run from my fate, I guess. You wait for it to cool down and then down it in one go? Wow. You burn your tongue every single time? I'm that way with pizza. I'm that way with pizza for sure. Hugo finally stares at the compiled newspaper clippings he put together. Some of them from recent events, but mainly all were past headlines of missing person cases. No matter how many times I see this, it's still just as hard to look at. It takes days to heal. Fixating case after case, he can't help but remind himself that there is a reason for all of this. An all too personal reason. Seeing strange things come with a price. In the end, I'm the one doing this to myself. Sounds rough. Mind if I join? Kuya? An annoyingly familiar voice interrupts his train of thought. He slowly looks up to see the one responsible, although reluctantly. New character. Good morning, Hugo. Hugo scowls and turns away from him. He then gathers the files and shoves it back into the binder. Meanwhile, the tall man takes this as an initiative and sits at the opposite side of the booth. He greets the waitress passing by and orders himself the hefty body breakfast special with an extra plate. As usual, the waitress is happy to oblige and goes back to the counter to relay his order. The man then looks back at Hugo. He sees the empty cup and the now jumbled newspaper clippings, all the while Hugo is trying to ignore him. You really should eat something with that black coffee. Not ordering any donuts today? I'm fine, Noah. I'm just not in the mood today. Not even a little? There's a momentary silence between them before Noah disturbs it once more. Well, too bad for you. I ordered a big breakfast for the two of us. Two? Two? That's like Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2. As if the world could grace Noah with an even more perfect punchline, the food arrives. Damn, that is a fast turnover. Why the hell did you order for the two of us? Just eat what you want to eat. Don't worry about me. Wow. This is... Okay, so this is a different language. I don't know how to say this. Mukang masaru. Masarup. It's the best I got. Right, Hugo? Are you even listening to me? Come on. We both know that you don't eat. If you don't eat now, who knows when you will? And I'm not about to let you faint again. So, open wide. A little airplane for him. Noah De Leon, age 27, a natural-born charmer, is also the only person in the world who lovingly threatens him to eat every day. With a pensive look, Hugo finally gives in and eats the generous spoonful without further complaints. Hugo, I like this character. These characters look cool. This art style works for me. I think that they made Noah look like handsome and charming. Like his character model perfectly fits the description that they've given him. And same for Hugo. Hugo looks like a scatterbrained, super stressed, sleep-deprived, caffeine-addicted detective who hates his job but never quits. You know what I mean? Like, he just looks like that to me. And it's good, right? Good food will always help cheer you up. Damn him. I got swept away again. Oh, by the way, the chief will be out for a business trip. She mentioned it will be for a couple of days. Yeah, Hugo just looks like a sad, like, old man in like a 30-year-old's body. and then Noah is just like gleaming, sparkly, kira, just a good dude. Yeah. That's good too. That's good too. When did she tell you this? I didn't hear anything about it. Yesterday, I think. Yesterday? She told me to sort out the cabinets yesterday. She didn't even mention anything about a business trip. I guess it was a pretty sudden one. Well, I mean, she did tell me to tell you. My, you know that smell of wet dog that sometimes happens? Like, and what it really, like the smell of pennies, you know what I'm talking about? And really what that is it's your own skin oil on the metal of the penny, and you're smelling that skin oil. So that smell is what we smell like. Maybe more dramatic, but so when dogs like smell us, I wonder if that's what they're picking up. If we have like a uniquely human scent to us and it all smells the same. But I just got like this is metal. And I just got a whiff of it, and I think it's from my nose touching it. Maybe I need to, I don't know. It's like I got a whiff of pennies. And lucky me, I know where you go every morning. You know what? I'm not surprised anymore. Well, what do you want to do? We technically have the day off. I'm going to head back to the office. There's a couple boxes I didn't get a chance to sort out. In that case, I'll come with you. So their boss goes out on a business trip and is like, hey guys, yo, take the day off. And so these doofuses go back to work. Man, cops. Why? You could just rest for the day and pass up this opportunity to get to know you better. Kuya. Quit it. After their enlightening banter, the two of them finish their breakfast, pay for their meals, and head to Hugo's car. As Noah opens the door to the passenger seat, he notices a bloodhound sleeping inside. Oh, Hugo. You left your dog in the car? Hugo. The big dog stirs at the sound of the car opening and lazily stares at Noah. Oh, I'm sorry, big guy. He then closes the door while trying not to make too much noise to disturb its occupant. Colby. At the sound of his name, his heavy-lidded eyes slowly peek to see who calls for him. It is his one and only partner, his human. Oh, he's a cute dog. As if finally realizing who he is or where he is, the old bloodhound stirs up from his sleep, pounces at Hugo, and proceeds to wag his tail uncontrollably. Good morning again, Colby. Have a nice nap? Colby, 8 years old, Hugo's most faithful and loving partner in crime. This is the first time we've seen Hugo smile. Has the biggest tendency to just sleep all over the place. Noah, who is witnessing all of this from the back seat, chuckles to himself. He's amazed and slightly defeated at Hugo's sudden surge of energy. Well, it's his dog. Huh, it doesn't matter how many times I try. When it comes to boosting up his mood, no one can beat Colby. It's true. It's true. Agency, 7:50 a.m. Oh. The three head back to the office. The space is just the same as Hugo left it, a decent, organized mess. To his credit, for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believes he did a fair job. I forgot to mention something. So this game was actually made for a game jam, the Horror Visual Novel 2021 Game Jam, and it was the winner. So that is what enticed me to play this game. Beyond the art style and it being a horror visual novel, I was like, oh shit, this thing won? It must be pretty good. Game jams are cool. And apparently after winning, they fully completed the game. So this is the full game, but they made it for a game jam, which is really cool. To his credit, for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believes he did a fair job, albeit could have been better. Wow, his jacket is too big for him. Do you see that shit? His jacket, look, this jacket could fit this man, but it's way too big for him. His hands don't even stick out of the sleeves. Let me know when you want to laugh, and I'll send you my game jams. I think I've already seen a couple of yours. You really outdid yourself, Hugo. It looks less crowded. Oh, shut it, will you? I said I was going to get to it. Thanks, boy. Before Hugo could continue to give deserved head pats, he notices someone. A woman stands timidly peering outside from the storefront. She looks a bit frantic and even more restless with her disheveled and ill-fitted clothes, drawing emphasis to her already too visible petite frame. The woman tries to grasp the door handle several times, but stops before she can touch it. Her brows furrow, agitated and distressed about something. So much to the point it is preventing her from just simply reaching out for help. However, when she finally makes eye contact with Hugo, she immediately rushes in. Oh, she's so cute. This is Nina, I guess. I'm so sorry. I know that the close sign is up, but I saw you come in and Are you all right, miss? I need your help. My grandfather, Before she can continue explaining, Noah swiftly cuts in front of Hugo and intervenes, an all-too-practiced manner. It's okay, miss. We'll hear what you have to say. So please, why don't you sit over there? Noah gestures to one of the empty seats at the other side of the office. The poor woman hesitates for a moment. She clutches desperately to the strap of her purse, her eyes focusing apprehensively on them, and at the gestured seat. After mulling over Noah's offer, she quickly glances back and nods. The woman then walks towards the corner of the room and sits at the edge of the sofa. Her posture is wary and tense, giving no sign of comfort for even this brief moment of peace. Can you start off by telling us your name? I apologize for earlier. I'm usually a bit more composed than this, but I guess I'm failing at that too. My name is Nina Mortimer. Hello, Miss Nina. My name is Noah De Leon. I am one of the assistants here. The big guy next to you is our lovely assistant, Colby. And the one brooding over here is Private Investigator Hugo Laurent. I'm not brooding, I'm just tired. He mumbles under his breath in a brooding manner. And our chief is away on business, but I think we can still accommodate you. So, how can we help you, Miss Nina? I love hair like that, this like kind of disheveled hair. For just a moment, Nina appeared a bit more lax, more hopeful, maybe even relieved from this warm welcome. You guys, okay, hold on, sorry. There's music, but it's so quiet. Sorry, let me turn that shit up. I have to turn it up like all the way. Okay, this is literally max volume. But I can hear it now. Can I hear it? Oh yeah, there we go. And let me know if you can't hear it. For just a moment, Nina appeared a bit more lax, more hopeful, maybe even relieved from this warm welcome. However, she once again tenses up. The guilt and shame come rushing back to her, visible by the creases of her brow as she once again realizes why she's here. I need help watching over my grandfather tonight. Tonight? Yes, I know this is a strange request, but my hands are tied on this. It has to be tonight. I'm sorry, Miss Nina, but I don't quite understand. Is your grandfather in any danger? I think someone was trying to take him away. Take him? Miss Nina, I think you should contact the police right away. They're far more equipped at handling this kind of situation. No, they're not. Whoa, that face she made was crazy. I've tried requesting their help, but they've given me the same answer verbatim for weeks now. They would send someone out to watch over the manor for the entire day. But by the end of their routine, they would always report back nothing unusual. Ads are about to start. Get ready. Sub or die. They say no one else. They saw no one else leaving or arriving at the house other than me or the caretaker. And despite telling them all in detail about the letters and all the strange things that's been happening, there's nothing they can do about it but just sit around until it escalates even more. This face right here. Oh, what a crazy face. Or have a broken app and never receive ads. That's true. You can also do that. That's how my app is. I use this app called Frosty, and I like never get ads for some reason. I can't wait any longer, any more than this. Then it'll all be too late. If only I knew who Lewis was. Lewis. She lets out a gasp. Her hand shot out to cover her mouth, realizing she said too much so carelessly. She tries to avert her gaze, but Hugo stares persistently at her. Miss Nina, who is Lewis? Are they the ones causing all of this? Once more, she contemplates, her brows knit closely together as she bites her lip nervously. It's as if the words she wanted to say have suddenly died out, too heavy to even utter. A mistake she can't take back. Before the silence stretches further, Noah speaks to Nina with a gentle and reassuring tone. Miss Nina, I know it's scary. All of the things you've mentioned to us so far, no one should ever have to experience, especially by themselves. And I assure you, we'll listen to all of it. I promise. Wild and manic eyes search deeply at them, trying desperately to discern any doubt or mistrust on their face. However, all she sees are people who are willing to give their time to simply listen to her, to actually help her. For this alone, Nina looks to the side where her purse is and opens it. Tucked inside one of the pockets, she takes out a single, slightly crumpled envelope with a pigmented red wax seal pressed into the middle. At a glance, Hugo can tell right away that this letter appears to be a bit more worn out and antique. And yet, despite its delicate form, it remains well preserved, well kept. It's as if this letter itself was untouched by time, forever waiting to be opened. Interesting. Grandfather has been receiving cryptic letters for the past month now. The letters didn't come with an address or the name of the sender, but this one is different than the rest. This had the name Lewis on it. Classic off-white eggshell envelope with the bloody wax seal. As she hands over the letter, Hugo notices her hand slightly shaking. Nina is still avoiding his gaze, but he knows she's trying in earnest. But there's whispering. I don't know if you can hear it. I hope you can. But before he can reach out his hand, he senses it. A faint shift in the room, unnoticeable to the others, but all too glaringly clear to him. There's something very wrong with this letter. Suddenly, Hugo recoils his hand away in pain, like being struck with something sharp, so spontaneously, so memorable, that even if the pain disappeared within seconds, a hint of it remains. Something so small, akin to a prick from a rose's thorn. Or, more like, a paper cut. Are you all right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. No, I'm fine. Hold on. Okay, all right. And then he goes under my bed. Come here. Come here, you. Sorry. No, I'm fine, Miss Mortimer. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Hugo stares squarely at the cut. A thin red line starts to form slowly by the top of his index finger, trailing down and stopping just above the first crease. A red is so clearly visible, it's taunting. That must be a bad paper cut. Like, I don't remember the last time I bled from a paper cut. That must be a pretty bad paper cut. That doesn't look like the normal paper cut to me. Let me get you a Band-Aid. It's fine, Noah. I don't need one. But he's too hard. He's too fucking, I don't know, for a Band-Aid. Really, it's fine. It doesn't even hurt that much. Noah takes one good look at him before sighing exasperately and sitting back down in his chair, still eyeing on Hugo's hand. Hugo shrugs and returns his attention back to the letter, but this time, luckily, nothing happens. For it to reach all the way out here with just a letter alone is truly terrifying. I'm stuttering. Carefully, he removes the content of the envelope and unfolds it. At first, it looks like any other normal written message. The person named Lewis is asking the other, Henry, to come meet him by the lake at midnight. Needing to share something important with him. However, what's eerily striking about this is not the letter itself. Peering at the bottom of the page, a message scrawled, unlike the rest, stands visibly out to Hugo. A message that shouldn't be there. Remember your promise, Henry. Interesting. When did you receive this letter? Yesterday. And your grandfather? Where is he right now? He's currently back at the house with a caretaker. I promised them I wouldn't be gone for too long. I made an agreement with them, you see. Oh, what sort of agreement? The caretaker we have now agreed to watch over my grandfather, but only during the day. Before nightfall, they would leave exactly at the same time. Before nightfall? I wanted to believe that this whole thing was an elaborate scheme to scare my family away. I know this sounds crazy, but at one point, I thought everyone was in on it. The mail carriers, the officers, the caretakers. Everyone had a hand at making our family suffer. But this one was different. Up until now, I've never heard of anyone by that name. Not a relative or family friend. But they clearly know who grandfather is. If I don't do something about this, I'll lose him too. Oh, your tears are so big. Just by uttering the words alone, Nina begins to break down. The stress, anxiety, the fatigue, all of it was finally catching up to her. Her body hunches forward, her hands pressed close to her eyes as she tries to cover the stream of tears running down her face. Oh, that scared me. As an act of comfort, Colby sits closer to Nina while Noah fetches tissues for her. Hugo, on the other hand, is puzzled. She said this whole thing has been going on for the past month, but something doesn't add up. Yeah, it freaked you out too? Was it really loud? And before nightfall, I think there's more to this she is not admitting. Whatever happened with the letter, I'm more than certain. Certain that whoever or whatever Lewis is, they're coming for blood. Yeah, I'm gonna take the fucking case? What? Do you want more tissues? We'll do it. We'll take on your case. For a moment, everyone goes still. Their eyes and attention are solely directed at Hugo, whose eyes have a certain glint in them, now unwavering and more determined than ever. Before anyone else speaks, Nina stands up, wipes away any strand of stray tears from her face, and walks up to him. You'll take it? Hugo simply nods. Thank you. Thank you. You don't know how much this means to me. We're glad to help, Miss Nina. Please call me Nina. Well, Nina, we'll do our best. Nina smiles at Hugo, and Noah, in gratitude, her eyes renew with a faint gleam, a hope that things will change for her and her family for the better. However, before heading out, Nina reaches into her bag once more. She takes out a small piece of paper and pen and hastily starts jotting down something. 4970 Church Street. I best be on my way now. I'll let my grandfather know ahead of time you'll be coming. Also, this is my address. I'll be sure to greet you all when you arrive. And thank you again, truly. She politely bows to them and walks out of the office, already reaching into her purse for her car keys. Hugo watches from his desk as she goes to open the driver's seat. Nina looks back at the office window and takes at least one last look at Hugo. She waves slightly at him before finally pulling out of the parking lot, driving off. I like how she is like, bye, and Hugo's just mean mugging the shit out of her. Once out of sight, Hugo turns to look at his cluttered desk. Still messy, but presentable. I guess I'll have to sort these out later. Again. Car, 5:30 p.m. Church Street sounds fake for some reason. It could be. It could also just be like video game, simple, right? Easy to remember. But it could be that they're fucking with me. This could all be like a Scooby-Doo. The granddaughter was in on it the whole time. You know what I mean? Ooh, nice scene. Hey, yo, Sydney Harris, welcome to the chat. How you doing today? Today we're playing a visual novel. It's a horror visual novel. It's my first time playing it. Welcome to the stream. From the ongoing downpour to the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. For some reason, a bunch of street names in fiction feel distinctly fake. That might be intentional. I'm glad you're doing good, Sydney. From the ongoing downpour, the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. I'm doing okay. We just started this game, so I'm really liking it. I really like the art style and the sound design. I wish there were a little bit more music in the background. There's a lot of silence in the back. Still, miles off their destination, Hugo constantly checks the rearview mirror to see any passing cars. But it was only them on the road. Noah, who usually chats his ear off by now, leans quietly against the car door as he looks out to the passing streetlights, reserved and distant. He hasn't said a word to Hugo since they left the office. You're watching for the very first time? Okay, I'll give you the synopsis from the itch.io page. This guy, Hugo, is the main character. Noah is his assistant/partner, and they have a dog named, I can't remember, Clyde. And a woman that you just saw when you were coming in, comes into their private investigator, PI office, and is like, my grandfather, something is happening. We've been getting threatening letters. I need you to investigate tonight because they say they're coming tonight. And so that's all I know so far. We're going to it. Apparently, there's a family curse as well. I think the duration estimate on the battery is broken. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you, Sydney. I don't know what to do with it, so I just do it the same every day. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about doing something new, though. Maybe I should get bangs. Or the battery thing on your computer. Oh, yeah, no, that doesn't sound right. Hey, you're a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong? Huh, what a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Kuya? No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot, that's all. So, do you miss me talking? Just say it. Do you believe her story? What? Given all the things she's told us, do you think she's telling the truth? I think she's telling the truth, but I think she's hiding it. I think she's hiding the truth. I think that she may not know who Lewis is, but I think she has a suspicion. An Aaron Yeager bun? Yeah. When I used to have short hair with bangs, everybody told me I looked like I could do a cosplay of Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender when he grows his hair out later in the series. But now that I have longer hair, yeah, Aaron, late stage Aaron wouldn't be a bad cosplay. But I don't know if I'd want. Titans are my trigger. I don't know if I'd want to, since he's, kind of a bad guy. Yes, I believe her. Or at least, I believe she hasn't lied to us. But, I can't shake this feeling that she is hiding something. Like, if she left out certain details on purpose. Also, why did she have to travel this far out of town for a private eye? Thank you, Sydney. I don't know how long I'm going to grow it right now. This is the longest I've ever had it, and it touches my collarbone. But I think I'm just going to let it grow forever until it touches my butt. How often are you streaming? I start streaming at 5 p.m. EST, and I usually go for 3 to 5 hours, unless I'm about to finish a game, and then I'll go until I finish the game. So, if it's 2 more hours, then I'll just finish it. You know what I mean? Surely, there must have been another far closer to her home than ours. I just don't know how to explain it. As expected of you, Hugo. Are you making fun of me? Oh, thank you for following. I appreciate it. No, not at all. I'm just admiring your observations. I don't always play visual novels, but right now what I'm doing is every day until Halloween, I'm planning on playing a itch.io horror game. So we'll see where that takes me. But for now, I just went to itch.io, and I went to horror, and then popular, and then I'm just going. Whatever looks interesting, I'm playing. What's my favorite game to stream? I like games. I don't have a game, right? I don't just play. I don't play one game every stream, and then sometimes I do variety. I always do variety, but the type of game that I like are games that make me feel hurt me. I like when games hurt me. So I really liked Omori, and I liked In Stars and Time, and One Shot, and Hello Charlotte was pretty good too. If you've ever heard of any of those. But yeah, I like to play games that make me think and make me empathize with the character, and then I like when they step on my heart a little bit, just a little bit, sometimes a lot of it. I didn't want to offend Nina earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished. But her last name caught me off guard. You should look them up, but don't look up any spoilers, okay? Because spoilers absolutely ruin those games. Those games, Omori, One Shot, and In Stars and Time. You should definitely check them out. Where am I from? America. Have you heard about the Mortimers? They're a pretty distinguished family that own an esteemed fishing company. Well, they used to, I believe. They have yet to name an heir. What do you mean? Shouldn't it naturally go to Nina? It should, but I don't know. From what I heard, each time they try to name a successor, that relative mysteriously disappears. You're from America too? I think most Twitch viewers are from either America or Canada. That's kind of the experience that I've gotten, is a lot of viewers are from Canada. Yeah, that is interesting. So is that the family curse? Is Nina the last remaining family member? Gone without a trace. Or so anyone thought. Their bodies would soon turn up months after. And you know what's strange? All of them have been labeled as accidents by the local news. No foul play, just another unfortunate loss to their family. They'd been struck with so many tragedies that, over time, people began to believe they were cursed or something. Cursed. I think I can understand why she wouldn't go to the police again. They most likely thought she was seeing things and went along with the procedure, just to keep face. But deep down, they must have thought she had gone mad. Most people in America like to watch streaming, and most people in Asia like to watch YouTube. I have noticed that a lot. I've noticed a lot of Japanese streamers are on YouTube. That is interesting. And then, of course, right, like China has its own YouTube called Bilibili, which I think they do streaming as well. So you're gonna find most of their content, their video content, on that website or websites like it, catering specifically to their demographic. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find here? Is that why you decided to come with me? Well, partially. I'm more worried about you, though. Me? Why? Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decide to do some pretty reckless shit, I'll be there to drive you to the local hospital. Besides, 2 is better than 1. Exactly. You can't understand Chinese, so there's no point. I watch this one guy on YouTube. His name is man, I can't remember, but he's a American who does comedy in China, and he got really into tea, and now he's like a big tea distributor, and he makes YouTube shorts around like Chinese traditional tea. And the more that I watch him, when I listen to him say words in Chinese, I can start to pick out the different words. But yeah, Chinese is probably a very difficult language. I know when someone is speaking Chinese, I can kind of tell the difference between like the different dialects. I can't remember what they're called, Mandarin and another one. But like the difference between Japanese and Korean is so much more obvious to me. What's my favorite anime? My favorite anime is probably Fully Cooley, FLCL. It's only 6 episodes. You can watch the whole thing dubbed on YouTube. It's just there, and it's in really good quality. I recommend watching it dubbed because the dubbed performance is like iconic. But I also really I'm more of a manga guy, truthfully. I would say my lifelong love is probably One Piece, though. There's not even a door to get in or out. What are you talking about? Is that a reference? Is that a reference to something? But, yeah. What's your favorite anime, Sydney? I was fine with Colby coming with me. Well, have you heard that 3 is better than 2? Of course we bring our dog. I haven't heard of Fully Cooley, but yeah, One Piece is an OG anime. One Piece, dude. Oh, that's a quote? That's a quote from FLCL? Oh, dude. Look, there's only a couple quotes I know from that anime. My favorite one is nothing can happen until you swing the bat, or something like that. Your favorite is Dragon Ball? Wow. Are you watching Dragon Ball Daima? Did an episode 1 just come out? Like this week? Or last week? Mortimer Estate, 6 p.m. Passing through countless dirt roads and steep cliffs, the estate can finally be seen beyond the evergreen. Nestled away from prying eyes, it stands tall, magnificent, and classic. Truly a rarity only afforded to the privileged. And yet, with all its opulence, it looms from a distance. Whoa, we're just standing in the rain. Hugo and Noah could only gaze at the sheer scale of the manor. I only know a few quotes because some of my favorite songs sample. Really, they do. I would love if you could send me one of them. I've never heard of a song sampling FLCL. I haven't watched the first episode either. I want to watch the first episode of Dragon Ball Daima and the new anime Dandadan because I really like the Dandadan manga. I think it's really good. The most recent anime thing I've watched was Look Back by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the guy who made Chainsaw Man. I went to the theater last Sunday, so not yesterday, but 8 days ago, I guess. Really good. really good anime. Really good. Really good movie. Its grand stature topples easily over the dozens of houses they drove past. Oh yeah, and I'm waiting for thousand year blood war. 1,000 Year Blood War. Yeah, TYBW. Yeah. I'm waiting for that to finish so I can just binge it, because I read Bleach as it was coming out in high school. I finished it in high school, and I would rather just binge through the whole thing. Wow, look at the size of it. I could never imagine seeing a house like this in person. It's almost too surreal. They must live in a small town if this house is massive. Gonna be real. Come on. She's waiting for us. Immediately after exiting the driver's seat, a sudden, sharp pain weighs heavily on Hugo's chest. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to grasp for air. His vision hazes as he leans close to the car, trying desperately to ground himself. Whoa, what is happening? Like a fish drawn out of the sea, he desperately heaves. The air in his lungs, escaping too quickly, burns as he feels his throat start to strain, drawing tighter the more he breathes. But this pain pales in comparison to a feeling far more excruciating. Is it the house? No, something far more sinister. He feels it. Someone is watching him, a piercing gaze fixed on him, like leering at a bug and waiting to strike. We'll be together soon, Henry. Whoa. What the hell? His angry face is good. Damn it, already? I need to hurry up or else. Hey, are you alright? Noah calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixated trance. Colby nudges his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well-being. Did you hear that just now? Hear what? That voice. It was so close to my ear. Ooh, I want to start it. I've heard a lot about it. Watched any gore horror anime recently? Man, I don't watch a lot of... horror is my favorite genre, but not really of anime. I think the most recent horror anime I watched was like years ago. I watched Another, I think it's called, or the one with the memed on. It's like so memed on, of the girl falling and the umbrella going into her face. That was like the most recent horror anime that I can remember watching, but not when it came out. I watched it like a year or two ago. Man, that's gotta be it. Hellsing Ultimate. Yeah, I've seen Hellsing Ultimate. I think I started the manga as well. Is everything all right? Oh, I'm fine. Don't mind me. I'm just a bit winded out from the trip, that's all. Hellsing Abridged is very popular. Do you have a Discord server? No, I don't. I don't have a Discord server. I don't have enough viewers yet. I think if I were to have like 20 people in here, then a Discord server would matter more. But with this small amount of people, you can find me on stream. You know what I mean? I'd be happy to make you tea at the very least, if it's no trouble. No, not at all. Hellsing Abridged was made by the same people who made Dragon Ball Abridged. Haven't you? Didn't they? I've seen Discords for smaller channels. Okay, alright. I used to have a Discord, okay? But then I quit streaming, and I quit uploading YouTube videos, and I was like, you know what? If I'm not going to do this, then there's no point in having a Discord channel. So I closed it. And then it was only like, what, a month and a half ago I came back to streaming? So like a year later. So Discord servers must be awesome for suggestions, even with less viewers. You'd think so. I don't have a Discord made for streaming. I only have my personal one, Sydney. I'm sorry. It's the least I can do. Once again, this subtle uneasiness from Nina surfaces. But before Hugo could get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. You can do better scheduling with Discord. You can You can add like a bot that says like I'm going live, or you can say like I'm going live in an hour, I'm going to be playing this game or stuff like that. But I stream every day at the same time. I don't know. I'm going to be real with you. It's like so low on my attention, you know what I mean? It's like so far out on my radar. Really all I'm concerned about right now is consistency and getting a job. Are you sure you're all right? You sound like you were choking earlier. I'm fine. I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't back out now. Listen to me. I think you should... Noah abruptly cuts his lecture short as he notices Nina stopping by the front door. She stands by the door silently, contemplating something. It's just like before, but this time, she seems even more anxious. Whatever unease she tried to mask earlier became more apparent the minute they walked closer to the front door. Discord servers seem pretty unnecessary. I'm part of a Discord server for another streamer that I watch, and I do like it, but that streamer also tweets out when they're going live. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just another avenue. It's just another avenue. I have a guy with a free bot that sends a message every time he goes live, but it sucks, so it sometimes has a noticeable delay. Oh. So, you will, like, see him go live, and then the bot will take a few minutes. Whatever unease she tried to mask earlier. I haven't been quite honest with you, detective. Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decides that in this situation, words are not enough. You'll see for yourself what I mean. Oh, a 15-minute delay would be frustrating. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Hugo is about to enter through the foyer when he feels a tug on his arm. Don't forget what I told you. If something happens, let me know right away. You'll be the first to know. I mean, yeah, we're partners. Oh, no way. Nice. And with that, Noah releases his grip on Hugo. Yeah, what's the point? That's what I'm saying. Like, with a 15-minute delay, that is insane. The bot that I had in the Discord server I deleted was like instant. The second I hit go live, within like 5 seconds, I would get a notification from Discord saying that the bot had posted. So like a 15-minute delay is really long. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. What if it's not a bot? What if it's not a bot? What if it's just a dude? And it's like, oh shit, I'm live. And so he just like sends channel name is now live. Check it out. We're playing. You know what I mean? What if it's just him? They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. Greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo notes immediately that the interior is just as grand. Adorned with floral accents and antique furnishings, the house itself exudes the word elegance. To me, I do think that this house decor exudes elegance. Yes. However, I also think it exudes like decrepit and stuck in time. You know what I mean? Like especially this couch right here. When I see this couch, I know ain't nobody sat on that couch. It's been like 30 years since somebody sat on that couch. You know what I mean? That's what I always think when I see that shit. It's only around now to be used for betting. Well, at least it's got some community engagement. At least it serves a purpose. A classic and rustic charm with the walls and flooring made from the finest wood. Hugo couldn't help but gape when he walked in. However, he notices something even more distinct than the splendor. Behind the seemingly perfect veneer, an unsettling air reeks through the house, leaving no room for doubt that the inside is far more terrifying than the outside. Please, come this way. Look, it's grandfather. For being called grandfather, he definitely has a full head of dark hair. Bracing themselves, they enter the dimly lit drawing room. At first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated in the far corner. Doesn't mean much when the most expensive redeem is 2.5k. So it's like, what are you really winning? You could get 2.5k in what, like a stream and a half viewing? Only the sparse lighting from the window pierces through a fraction of the room's darkness. And it's raining. Of course it's dark. However, as they approach to the silhouette, Hugo now understands the reason for all of Nina's unsettling vagueness. Grandfather, we have guests. Oh, this is grandfather? He's so young and, he looks like he's 20. Sitting on the armchair is a very young man, not much older than Hugo or Noah. He's dressed modestly and shares none of the imposing presence of the manor. No, rather, such luxury does not even remotely reflect on the man before them at all. It's as if the flow of time has stopped only for him while the rest had continued changing drastically without him. Is he a vampire? Just like the letter, timeless, delicate, and jarringly out of place. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there, dazed, with little acknowledgement of the people around him. Still, motionless, like a doll. Grandpa, these are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Laurent and his 2 assistants, Colby and Noah. They should put the dog first. They're going to help us. Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. The man before them is supposed to be frail and older than any of them. And yet, here he remains, forever unchanging, forever young. They've come a long way, so I'll be making some tea. Would you also like some, Grandpa? He does not reply back, nor does he glance at Nina or anyone else in the room. Does he eat? Does he drink? Only fixates his gaze on the rain. Nothing else. I'll be sure to make a cup of tea for you too. She then timidly gestures to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer. Bearing more questions, the 2 follow Nina outside. But before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. I can press space. Okay. Can I press right? There is an all too familiar air about Henry Mortimer. Okay, no, I can't. Interesting. His eyes, they're similar to his own. Whatever he must be longing for. My bad. Nina, that man. Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but Nina draws something out of her pocket. Interesting. It's an old picture of a handsome man with slicked back hair, wearing the finest of suits. The gentleman in the picture has a different air to him, one of wealth and power, none of which reflects at all on the current Henry Mortimer. It's almost as if looking at 2 different people. They don't have, their faces aren't the exact same either. That might just be the air and the facial position being weird to me, but this isn't much to go by, but believe me, they are the same person. Then why does he look so young? It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of water when I heard a loud thud coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked so different. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He looked younger. So many things were rushing through my head at the moment, and yet I knew he felt familiar to me. I know it sounds bizarre the more I talk about it, but that's what's happened. That was also the same night I found the letter. It was next to him, already opened. I'm sorry again for all of this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The pools of water, the letters, Lewis, and now this. I've been ignoring the signs for years and just blindly hoping things can get better if I try finding solutions on my own, but that's not enough anymore. Maybe my family is really cursed. No, they're not. Curses aren't real. Detective, I think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In truth, the ones who fixate on it make it their reality. Rumors, doubts, lies, all of those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But, like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you were caught up in all of this, but I assure you we'll get through. For you and Mr. Mortimer. Thank you. Good. Now, our first priority is to find out more about Lewis. Nina, the letter you showed us back at the agency, do you have it with you? Oh, yes, it's here. Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back. What I like the most about Hugo is his, he's so sure of himself, you know what I mean? He's so sure of himself. He's so, and his confidence and his, matter-of-fact way of speaking makes me feel like I can trust and rely on him. You know what I mean? Imagine a guy curses people in your family to die before 25 or something, and it happens, but 60 years down the line, it just turns out... No, that's an actual story. That's a story. I can't remember what that is, but I've read that before. That he, cursed him, but really all it was on a specific day he, was in there killing him himself. I can't remember the name of the story, but that's an actual story, isn't it? Of course. But what are you going to do with it? I've searched everything on that letter, and I still couldn't come up with clues. I'll be using it as a reference, or a guide, if you will. I'm afraid I can't discuss too much of the process, trade secret and all. It's so fucking stupid, I love it so much. Yeah, I like when people come up with stories like that. Circumventing your expectations. Of course. I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor. Got it. But before they leave to do their own investigations, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder. He leans in, close enough for Nina not to hear. Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina, especially Nina. I don't want her to be dragged any more than she already is. So whatever happens, keep her safe. He really believes her. Hugo, you... Fine. But remember, yell for me, okay? I know. Thank you, Noah. I'm counting on you. You too, boy. The only time he smiles. With a final nod at them, Hugo then goes towards the staircase and heads upstairs. Noah stares for a moment longer at Hugo's back before he disappears into the first floor. He then turns to look at Colby. Well, it's time to get to work. Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that item as well. I used to cheat so hard in Skyrim because you could do that thing where you create a potion of blacksmithing and then you use your blacksmithing to create a armor set that gives you better alchemy, and then you create a crazy blacksmithing, and then you go back and forth until you make an insane blacksmithing stat or item, and then you just get plus 1 million dex or some shit like that. Right, Colby? Woof woof. Investigation start. The objective is to look around the area for objects to proceed the story. Use the arrows or the arrow keys to move to a different area. Outlines will appear on clickable objects. On the top right is a hint button. You can't see it, but it's right behind my head. Clicking it will highlight an object you missed. Okay, interesting. I didn't know there was going to be actual gameplay. It's an exploit, not really cheating. Let's see. Really? Nothing over here? Oh, here we go. Okay, so it will just light up. And since there's nothing over here to click on, I can hover over dog. Okay, phone. An old rotary dial telephone. It looks like it's still in good use. A delicately arrangement of violets and white roses. They seem to be fresh and fairly new. Can't click on the lamp, okay. A large bookshelf stands close to the entranceway. It contains a couple of photo albums and a few phone books. Can I go through here? Oh, I can click on him. Mr. Mortimer still sits motionless by the corner of the room, his gaze never leaving the rain. Oh, here we go. Frames decorating the walls are covered in white sheets, veiled with a thin lining of dust on the top of each one. Wow, there's so many paintings covering the walls. Are there more like this all over the house? Yes, my grandfather commissioned many back in the day, but sadly he doesn't do that anymore. Nina, I can't help but notice the paintings are covered. How come? I did that. I covered them up for my grandfather's sake. For his sake? Yes, he was pretty obsessed with them, you see. There were times where he would mutter to himself and would just stare at the paintings for days on end. It worried me so much that I had to cover them all. Since then, he hasn't stared at any of them. He just sits quietly, looking outside. I see. About the paintings, I also noticed they all have a similar theme. They all had water in them. I know this isn't a coincidence, since you've told us before, but if there's anything you know, anything at all, please tell me. Noah, can I ask you a question first? Sure, go ahead. Do you believe in mermaids? Mermaids? I don't suppose I do. Why? Casting her gaze to the floor, Nina anxiously fidgets and tightly clasps her hand together. She then briefly sighs and continues. Well, there's this story, or rather, more like a fairy tale, that my family has passed down. A fairy tale? Yes, well, it feels like one to me. It was about a fisherman who fell in love with a mermaid. Every day and night, he would go out by the shore and gaze at her beauty. Then, one day she vanished, leaving him confused and heartbroken. Determined, he would sail many seas for a chance to see her again. Sailing from coast to coast, new lands beyond and back, he would go. Not long after, fortune followed him all throughout his journey and made him one of the wealthiest and most highly respected in his village. However, despite all the wealth he gained through his travels, he never found the mermaid again. She would only be a dream, nothing more. And my hair is tickling me. And that's the end of the story. It doesn't end happily, but I guess there was a lesson behind all of it. I just never understood it. What do you think happened to the mermaid? I know it's an exaggeration, yet I can't help but wonder. It's hard to say. I just feel bad for both of them. Man, I'm tortured. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of sad endings. If it were me, I would wish the fisherman and the mermaid could see each other again. Or at least, that's what I think. Even if they weren't meant to be with each other? Yeah, I think so at least. I wouldn't want to imagine going through a journey all by myself. It's hard being alone. It's true. A journey all by yourself. Mortimer Estate, 11:30 p.m. After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here. This is it. Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and switches it on. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From the customized window drapes to the vintage furnishings, everything here exudes that extravagance. But, much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a gloom lingers. It's as if this room itself is moldering despite its preserved nature. A meticulously organized set of academic books, ranging from non-fiction to geography, are all on display. However, hidden away behind the vast collection are some children's fairy tales, all carefully kept. That's nice. That means that he reads to his children, right? Reads to his grandchildren. A classic wooden chest lies at the foot of the canopy bed. Its lock still firmly holds, safeguarding whatever is inside. Just gotta run my mouse over everything. Scattered pieces of paper, all forgotten, lie waiting on the cold floor. Heavily etched markings are found scrawled all over the papers. Picture. Oh, an old photo of a lost time. A sweet summertime memory of a little girl with her beloved grandfather. Oh, that's sweet. Atop the fireplace, unblemished and unmarked by time, hangs a curious and familiar painting of a beautiful woman floating on water. They love to say unmarked by time. Like, they really love to talk about how unmarked by time everything is. A pristine pearl, a pearl white tea set sits patiently by, untouched and unused for quite some time. Anything else in this one? Doesn't look like it. Okay. What else we got? Not seeing anything. Which means I must have missed something here. Interesting. I'm not seeing anything. Weird. Oh, here we go. A leather-bound journal rests on the edge of the table. Its pages are torn out so haphazardly that the binding itself is starting to fall out. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. It seems that you have to find everything, and then the item that advances the story will become available. Mortimer Estate, 11:50 p.m. He searches and searches, and still there is no sign of Lewis. To Hugo, even though there is a fragment, even if there is a fragment, a singular thread to that person, to their real selves, he could find them. But there's nothing. Maybe Lewis is a fake name. Not one thing pertaining to him. It's as if the thought of Lewis barely existed at all. What is going on? I clearly sensed the presence from before, but it's gone again. Damn it, I wish I had more time. No, calm down. It has to be here. I just need to focus. He ponders again, retracing every step and every little detail, hoping that he overlooked something. Yet all he knows is that the one tangible thing that connects him, that tethers so closely to this place, and most of all to Henry, is the letter. Words of promise, of love, of all delicately etched onto the page, but tainted with a powerful and dark emotion that has been festering for too long. Tainted. From the very start of all of this, Hugo believed that whoever Lewis was, they were the ones responsible. He thought he could find them and convince them to stop their haunting for good, to bring them peace and move on. However, that isn't the case anymore. The unnatural force that binds everyone so closely together in this family is not the cause of an angry spirit. No, it's something far more devious than that. As he takes the letter out of the envelope, he notices a change within, bearing no foreboding threat at the bottom of the page. It looks just like a regular letter, or rather, what it once was, a sad and tragic love. If you can't come, then I understand. Things have gotten more complicated with your mother ever since she found out about us, right? I'm sorry, Henry, for everything. It hurts to see you so torn up like this. I would never hurt you or drag you along with me. If this is to be our farewell, then can I ask you one last favor? Could you keep my locket? I know this is selfish of me, but I'd like for you to have it. I'd be happy to know it's safe with you. My heart will forever be yours, Henry. With love, always, Lewis. I think it's actually Luis. I've been reading it as Louis, but doesn't Luis usually have like an E at the end? So, this was a true letter. A small warmth emanates from the paper, wrapping closely around his fingers, quiet and soothing. The fragment Hugo was searching for. Louis, I'm sorry. You are also a victim in all of this too. Please, if you can hear me, I need your help. Without a warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom. That gave me goosebumps. I did not expect that. As if something unlocked itself, Hugo turns his head towards the sound and sees the chest. Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well, left to rot on its own. Whispering again, suddenly he stops at the sound of a sweet voice whispering to him, beckoning him towards the fireplace. Come here, my dear, sweet boy. Fuck it. You know what? We're gonna save. With games like this, you gotta save periodically. We're going to the painting. There, mounted by the fireplace, is a painting of a beautiful woman floating on water. Her pale skin is iridescent, brilliantly prominent against the contrast to the dark, murky waters that keep her hidden. Keep her bound to the canvas. This art is so good. It looks like watercolor and oil painting. Hugo stares intensely at the picture. An emphatic sorrow swells within him, disarming his very senses and forcing him to inch closer, surrendering himself to the sweet song. Poor thing, how lonely you must feel. You are a lot like him, like Henry. Yeah, I'm stressed. As Hugo approaches closer and closer to the painting and his mind screams to run, he sees it. He can finally see beyond the facade the lady portrays, for what the painting truly is. But don't worry. Ooh, I can take away that sadness. A deformed creature, a mermaid, floats above the surface. The voice whispers. Large, hollow eyes stare back, boring deeply into his. Her skin is melting, bleeding heavily this black ichor as it gushes out from the canvas. 27 hours is really long still. Some of it starts to hit not only the floor, but at Hugo as well. The black, viscous tar clings persistently onto him, unrelentless. Isn't unrelenting and relentless the same word? So like unrelentless would mean relenting. It's like a double negative. Come on, game. Unrelentless as they continue to pile up. And then he feels it. What drew him initially to this thing, a deep sense of longing rushes through him, snuffing out what little control he had left. Finally, embracing this nature, to come home. Take my hand. Without hesitation, Hugo reaches out his hand while the body leans in closer to the mermaid. She grabs and pulls him in. Not once looking back, he dives and follows after her, returning to nothing. The siren! The fucking siren got me. Okay, we're gonna load. I knew it. I knew I was gonna die. I had a feeling I was gonna die. Do not go to that fucking painting. No! Stay focused, Hugo. I won't let it get to me. Preparing himself, he heads towards the chest and opens it. Inside, scrambled together, are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets. Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young man found dead by the lake. An unidentified young man was found on the morning of XXXXXXXXX, 3 days prior to his death, according to police. Ruled as a suicide, police have claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed, XXXX comments. No claim of his body has been made yet. Louise. By the corner of Hugo's eye, he spots a bright glint buried beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. Oh, he looks so happy. A locket of brilliant gold shines unblemished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside it safeguards a picture of a young man with glasses, smiling brightly. This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty. I'm surprised it still shines like this. And this picture, did he put this here? No, it might have been Henry. But why would he store it like this? What should I do? Fucking take it. I should probably hold on to this for now. Take it to him, please, Louise. A gentle but distant plea echoes in Hugo's heart. A forgotten ache of yearning and regret grips him deeply. Feeling this music, so good. Feelings not of his own, start to rise like small ripples on a pond, wanting to be found again and remembered. Don't worry, I'll bring it to him. I'll make sure of it. Hugo is about to put everything back into the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his leg. What? Water? A pool of water, relentlessly. There they go, using relentlessly. Spreads across the floor. Already seeping into the chest. Damn it, no! Suddenly, the lights shut off. A scream is heard, followed by a myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Looming over him stands a tall, ominous figure. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows it's far from it. No, this very thing is trying to imitate a human form, trying to be human. Hugo could only stare back. Paralyzed with fear, he's forced to watch in horror as it slowly creeps towards him. Just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. But this time, it's drawing near, inching ever so closely. The words to call out to Colby or Noah fail. Lodged in his throat, he struggles in pain. With his breathing shallow, he tries to force his body to move. And then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but malice and contempt, it speaks. Don't get in my way. All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and the entity disappears. The tension from his body finally releases its agonizing grip, and he gasps desperately for air. Was that the mermaid? His vision blurs, and his breathing is haggard. He staggers towards the door. I like this movement they're doing. It looks like we're underwater. He yanks at the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed. Fuck! Nice, good ol' frustrated fuck right there. Noah! Colby! To his dismay, he is only greeted with silence at the other end of the door. Damn it! From the distance, he faintly hears the sound of Colby relentlessly barking as he gets further away from the house. Further away from the house? Wait, they're leaving? Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so, like being underwater. His movements slow and drawn out, as if being dragged down by that thing. Fuck this. Frantically looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. Without a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Bit by bit, the window cracks get larger with each blow, splitting off smaller pieces. What the hell is this thing made out of? Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all the strength he has left for a final blow. Damn you, just break already. Nice. Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railings he can grab hold of. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. So we're on this window right here. Despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of the vines. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet, to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches starts to tear. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches starts to tear away from the wall. Kind of weird wording right there. What do you mean, to his luck? Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another, but fails when his hands slip out of reach. Shit! Oh no! Clamoring wildly as he loses grip of the ivy, he crash lands down onto a thicket of bushes. At least it was bushes and not the ground. Air forced out of him. He heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even that is laborious. An immense pain spreads across not only his back, but his entire body. God, I'm getting too old for this. Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up. There's still time. I can do this. I have to do this. With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake, where this tragedy starts and ends. Huh. Well, we don't know what time it is. I know that I have to be there before midnight. Finally entering the park, Hugo calls out to Kobe and Noah. Colby! Noah! Where are you? He hears faintly the sound of barking and echoes of people yelling in the distance. He rushes towards the echoes, guiding him through the downpour. With his heart racing and his blood rushing to his head, he finds his way to the lake. Drawing closer, he sees Nina giving chase to her grandfather. Unfortunately, she doesn't get too far as Noah stops her. Grandpa, stop! Grandpa! Let me go. My grandpa, he's... No, Nina, it's dangerous. You'll get hurt too. I don't care. I don't want to lose anyone more. It's at that instant, Hugo trudges against the water, pursuing in Nina's stead. Hugo? No, don't. Come on, Colby, follow me. Please fall deaf on his ears. Not even the whines and worried cries of his partner could make him turn back. This music, I'm getting chills. Determined, he forges ahead. Nearing the deep end of the lake, he sees Henry Mortimer gazing directly at the abyss. He looks even more frail and disheveled than before. It's as if all the life he's lived up until that point has begun to fray, draining every ounce of himself and surrendering it all to the lake. Before Henry could lean in, Hugo reaches out and tugs at his arm. Mr. Mortimer, listen to me. Nothing is waiting for you down there, so please come back to the shore with me. Motionless and unresponsive, he stares deeply into the water. The haze over his eyes is still obscure and persistent. There are so many things we cannot afford to lose in our lives, and you're one of them. To Nina, you're all she has left. She needs you, Mr. Mortimer. Hugo felt it. A slight jolt from Henry's arm, as if stirred by the mention of Nina. He slowly turns to face Hugo. Nina. However, just as cruel and violent as the storm, Henry jerks back, wrenching his arm away from Hugo's hold on him. No, all of this is my fault. If only I had got to Lewis sooner, then none of this would have happened. He was waiting for me. was patient with me, and yet, for all the things he's done, I chose my family over him. He's gone because I didn't pick him. Henry backs further away from the shoreline. Mr. Mortimer, his manic eyes never straying away from Hugo as he keeps his distance from him. Louis, I'm sorry. I was the one who dragged you into this. You deserve so much more, and I wished... Henry struggles over his words. He clasps tightly to his shirt, his throat dry and taut from all that he's bottled up. From all those repressed and silent years of waiting for this curse to finally take him. I wished I had gone with you that night, Louis. Sir, even if you still covered that wish, it wouldn't resolve anything. Not for you or Louis. I read what he wrote to you those years ago. He understood that you didn't want to come see him. But the thing is, Mr. Mortimer, Louis never thought anything less of you. He said so in his letters to you. His letters. For the longest time, I wanted to believe he hated me for that, resented me for my choice. Or at least, I thought it was easier for me to think that way. How long has it been since I talked about him? It's been too long, sir. But that's why you don't have to shoulder all that pain by yourself anymore. Bumner, bad. Bad, Bumner. This is a highly emotional scene. Bad boy. We can talk about it. About you and Louis. All of it together. Hugo, his eyes are no longer clouded. Hugo extends not only his hand to him, but a promise that Henry had yearned for so long. A way to forgive himself. He hesitates at first. What fool believes in a deserved forgiveness? Such a thing doesn't exist. And yet, despite everything, Hugo still reaches out to him. To a stranger. Maybe he can be forgiven. Just as he was about to reach out for Hugo, a hand slithers around Henry's instead. Its arms unnaturally contort around him, while its head perches on his shoulder. This thing. This Louis is no longer pretending to be human. With piercing, cold green eyes, it glares directly at Hugo, mocking him, cursing him, wishing nothing but despair. We can be saved? We can be forgiven? There is only one true way out of this. I will share with you the most happiest of endings. Before Hugo could reach out for Henry's hand, he disappeared into the water. Mr. Mortimer! Without hearing the anguished cries and desperate pleas, Hugo dives after him into the abyss. Hugo, what a badass! Yo, Hugo. Hugo's my fucking hero, dude. No idea where or what time. Plunging into icy waters, Hugo feels shocks running rampant throughout his body, like spikes continuously piercing from his legs to the tip of his fingers. Fiercely and unyielding, his chest tightens and his heart races as he begins to kick his legs, hoping whichever way he goes, he'll find his way to Henry. Swimming deeper and deeper in, he sees, faintly, a figure slowly descending into the darkness. He didn't even take his coat off. As he finally gets closer to Henry, long, snake-like arms stretch across the void and grab Hugo's neck, violently squeezing all the air out from him. He tries desperately to wrench its hands away, but with each struggle, Hugo's movements begin to weigh heavier and heavier. Louis, where are you, Louis? It's looking for Louis. Digging deep into his coat's pocket, he grasped tightly in his hands the locket that Henry kept and had long forgotten, holding it out as it shines ever so brightly in the dark. Ah, there you are. It releases its grip on Hugo and instead reaches out for the locket. Taking this as a chance, he drops the chain and kicks with all his might to grab Henry's arm. With his heart and body screaming in pain, he swims desperately to the surface. Almost there, I just have to... As the lights from the surface begin to blur, Hugo makes one last attempt to reach for it. With his limbs worn out and his energy spent, this is all he can do. Before he loses his consciousness, he notices a figure swimming towards them, getting closer and closer. Noah, and then everything fades to black. Still don't know where we are or what time it is. Drifting along with what feels like an endless sea, Hugo courses through wave after wave, not knowing where he's going, or caring for that matter. All he knows is that he's very, very tired. How long has it been since he had a good night's rest? It's been too long. Maybe I should take a rest now. I'd like that very much. I agree that you deserve it, but not here. I'm sorry for startling you. I just wanted to see you one last time before I go. Lewis, you've done so much for me and Henry. I can't thank you enough. No worries. No worries. Hey, you know. It was easy. I almost died. It's no big deal, I want to thank you for watching over me. And also, I want to apologize for my remarks from before. I really thought that I had things figured out once I found you, but, that turned out for me. I did not... Oh. I was like, I did not take Hugo as a he-he-he-er. But Lewis is a he-he-he-er, yeah, for sure. It's alright, really. After all this time, I don't think anyone could hear me. Especially Henry. Lewis, I was worried about him for a long time. He always wanted to keep me away from his personal struggles, to keep me safe from them. But I was too stubborn for my own good. Honestly, I don't regret it. Any of it. Even if I could no longer reach out to Henry, fate weaved its thread back to you, our tangent, connecting us once more to this very moment. And for that, I am forever grateful to you, Hugo. You're welcome, Lewis. From a far-off distance, Hugo hears a voice crying out to him, beckoning him to return. Well, they're waiting for you. I guess they really are, huh? Take care, always, Hugo. You too, Lewis. Lake. With his eyes closed and his senses still returning, he feels the constant tugs and licks of a certain bloodhound. Of my dog. Whining as he tries to wake up his partner. Hugo! He also hears another familiar voice, too annoyingly close for comfort. Eyes shot right open, he jerks up. Confused, Hugo looks around before he coughs up the remaining water in his lungs. Are you all right? Noah starts to pat his back, while Colby continues to whine over Hugo. What happened? Where's Mr. Mortimer? He's safe. So is Nina. They're both okay. The police and the ambulance should arrive soon. Thank goodness. Isn't there more that you have to say to me? Instead of thank goodness, I swear, you don't listen to a damn word I say. I'm sorry, Noah. Exhausted, he lets out a sigh. He then continues to pat Hugo's back aggressively when someone approaches them. Detective Laurent? Oh, Nina. There's someone I want you to meet. He's back to being an old man. Behind her stands an elderly man. Frail in stature, he timidly looks to the side pensively as he ponders to himself. Although his youth has long faded, his eyes are what catches Hugo's attention. They're no longer a piercing and vicious green, only eyes just like Nina's. Hello, Mr. Mortimer. Detective. Wow. He didn't age poorly, but he's a lot older than I expected him to be. I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. I always thought about it every day. What if Lewis lived on in this world? What if he stayed a little longer with me? It's because of that constant mindset I dragged everyone down. And I kept hurting not only me, but Nina especially. I was the one who kept hurting her, the one who to blame for all of this. But you, someone that I've never met, still went out of your way to save me, not knowing my burdens or my faults. Thank you. Hugo reaches out to Henry and smiles brightly at him. It's my pleasure, sir. How much am I getting paid for this? But before he lets go, Henry tugs at Hugo's hand one last time. I hope that someday you too will overcome it. Overcome. The next day, 8 a.m. Well, good morning, Hugo. You're bright and early. Morning. With much fervor and haste, Hugo resumes writing on his notepad. Although, by closer inspection, he looks like he's going to combust any minute. Are you writing up the report? Without looking up, Hugo responds back. For the most part. You still need to write yours, too. I will. But, since I haven't had breakfast yet, and I don't like eating by myself, he brought me more amazing looking breakfast. But it's the same thing we had yesterday, dog. Let me guess. 2 is better than 1. Bingo. Wow, Hugo, you're really catching on. I'm so proud of you. Shut it, will you? I swear, if only I hadn't fallen off the goddamn window, maybe my report would have been shorter. Before Noah could begin to cut the bacon, he pauses at the mention of Hugo's report. Oh yeah, by the way, mind telling me what happened to the Mortimer's window? I broke it. Well, it's obvious to me. What I don't understand is, why is it broken? Do you know how much it costs to repair a window like that? I know. It was really dumb of me. I'm sorry. Besides, I told Mr. Mortimer about it before we left. Honestly, I was expecting an earful from him, and also the bill. And, surprisingly enough, he said it was okay. Lucky us, right? So what? You just call it a day after all of that? Thank you so much, Mr. Mortimer. You broke it. You pay for it. Would you chill? Of course I'll pay for it. But each time I kept insisting, he just shrugged it off. Said that we already went through a lot for them, so this was nothing in comparison. Also, he's like the richest man in the city. You know what? He's right. After all that we went through, we deserve at least a nap. But before he can walk away, he stops and sees a familiar person walking towards the storefront, carrying something with her. Oh, she's smiling. Good morning, you two. Just barely a foot through the door, a certain bloodhound stirs up from his resting spot and makes his way towards Nina's tail, uncontrollably wagging. Good morning to you too, Colby. Nina scratches behind one of Colby's ears, making his right foot unconsciously move on its own, scratching an invisible but desirable spot for him. Good morning, Miss Nina. Good morning. What brings you here this time around? Is everything all right with your grandfather? Yes, he's doing pretty well, actually. Even better than before. We talked so much last night, I hardly slept at all. But honestly, it's been a while since I spoke to him so freely like that. I hardly felt tired at all. That's wonderful to hear. But there is something else I want to ask the both of you for. To put it bluntly, I need your help. If you two aren't busy, I would like some company eating these. Inside a clear plastic bag are a stack of 2 boxes placed on top of one another. She opens the box on top and reveals a colorful array of neatly decorated donuts, all lined perfectly. No cramped or squished spaces. A work of art in Hugo's eyes. Wow, so pretty. Donuts? They look so delicious. We're more than happy to eat these with you, Nina. I need your help, private detective, eating these donuts. There he goes again with his donuts. But yes, please join us, Miss Nina. We were about to have our breakfast too, weren't we, Kuya? Always so brazen in front of others. You do make it exceptionally easy for me. Ugh. You both have such great chemistry with each other. On second thought, I'm way too tired for this. I'm going back. I'm going to have to apologize in advance for this, Nina. But truthfully, I've been running on last night's coffee, and I'm about to pass out any minute now. No worries. Honestly, I think a little break time sounds like what we need right now. Thanks. Hugo puts down his pen and proceeds to head to the couch. Colby follows after him. Would you like to join us, Miss Nina? I would love to. I guess we save these for later then. Yes, please do. Now, come on. It's nap time. Noah sighs heavily before setting down the food on his desk. He then gestures Nina towards the sofa, which she happily takes his offer and joins them. And they all take a nap. Oh, he took off his jacket. I knew he was like a little guy. I'm getting old. I mean, you are old. Shut it. This is really nice. Oh, good boy, Colby. Come here. Nina quietly coos at him and begins to scratch at the back of Colby's ears once more. Hugo leans a little closer to Noah, his voice above a whisper, but close enough for Noah to only hear him. You know, I'm glad that you came along yesterday. Oh, what's this? Are you getting chummy with me now? Call it chummy or whatever, but I really mean it. If you hadn't saved us back there. Look, I told you before. I'll be there whenever you get yourself into reckless shit. Besides, didn't you say this was nap time? Get some rest. You deserve it. You too. A calming silence fills the room as they bask under the morning glow. No big parties or celebrations. Just each other's company and sharing this small reward. A small and warm comfort. Good end. Case closed. Wow, that was really good. The art was fantastic. It was very short. It was clear that this was made for a game jam. About an hour-ish worth of gameplay, too if you're slow like me. But man, that was really good. The music was fantastic. I just wish there was more of it. The writing was really good. The story was really good. I liked that you're kind of subverted. You think that it's Lewis who is haunting Henry, but it's actually Henry. So those deaths in the family, those unfortunate events that have cursed his family were all his doing. Either people who were getting too close to him, Henry, or people who were getting too close to the fact of it. Maybe it might have been that Henry had cursed Lewis, and it was only in getting Henry to admit his feelings, his regrets, could he free Lewis. I like that. I pointed it out during the gameplay a little bit, but I really think that games like this, visual novels, could use yeah, it's over. See, then it ended. Could use another set of eyes. They use like relentlessly and unrelentless and relentless, and they also used another word like 3 times, and it was like, normally you can use words many times if you spread them out, but they use them in such close proximity to each other that when you read them back to back, you're like, oh my god, this person needs a thesaurus or something. This person needs someone else to proofread for them. But that's also another aspect of a game jam. You kind of just write as you go. You know what I mean? Anyway, This was really fun, really good game. If you enjoyed this game, check out the developers. Let's see. Who are the developers? Is it going to tell me anything? Break Room? Music. Interesting. So there's some stuff that I missed, but I think it was just dead ends. Man, okay. Oh, I can't skip forward. There was a song that I really liked. This one. This song's good, man. The composer for this game, round of applause, dude. The art director, round of applause. The story writer, amazing work. Credits right here. Studio Clump. Henri, from Hello Charlotte. Original idea and writer. Ota, sprite, CG artist, and UI designer. Ota, your art style vibes with me so well. Sasa, background and CG artist, color designer. Great work from these two right here. Z04, programmer, item, and background artist. I think there's more. There's way more. Music and sound effects, presence of music, H-Mix Gallery, and Zapsplat. Whoever is writing the music for this game, you did a great job. Assets, RenP wave rendering, kinetic text tags, caption tool for RenPy, all-in-one GUI template, RenPy action editor, fonts, Andromeda Delta, Torre Farfan, Tukatana regular, beta testers, Wing Medrello 7, Hard-boiled egg 98, QTT Sky, made in RenPy 8.1.3, made originally for Spooktober 3rd Annual Visual Novel Jam 2021. And from what I understand, they also won. This game won. So hats off to them. They did a fantastic job. Henri, great work. Great work as the original idea and writer. Okay, well, that's it for Stillwater. I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did, because clearly I like this game. I'm now going to switch to another game. Yeah? Thank you for watching.